John, you play upon your fiddle. On this Christmas day so bright, John, you play upon your fiddle. Hoodly diddly diddly da, hoodly diddly diddly da. This happy Christmas day, this happy Christmas day, this happy Christmas day. Oh, this happy Christmas day, this happy Christmas day, this happy Christmas day. On this Christmas day, I shall play upon your drums. Ba-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. Yeah, hoodly diddly diddly da, hoodly diddly diddly da. Ba-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. This happy Christmas day, this happy Christmas day, this happy Christmas day. Oh, this happy Christmas day, this happy Christmas day, this happy Christmas day. Rejoice today and play upon your drum, for the Almighty God will come. Let's have some fun. Yeah, hoodly diddly diddly da, hoodly diddly diddly da, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. Rejoice today and play upon your drum, for the Almighty God. Oh, come, let's have some fun. It's Christmas Day, let's all sing in joy for it. La 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 la. Yeah, hoodly diddly diddly da, hoodly diddly diddly da, ba-da-bum, bum, 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 bum. On this Christmas Day we shout in joy and ecstasy. On Christmas Day so bright we shout in joy and ecstasy. Hip, hip, hooray!
I offer my loving pranams at the lotus feet of our Divine Lord. Thank you, Swami, for this wonderful opportunity to celebrate Christmas in your presence. Dear brothers and sisters, this morning we were really blessed with a wonderful program by the students, and we want to thank them. It was so beautifully integrated with the theme of Christmas, and the carols that they sang warmed our hearts. Swami, I would briefly like to thank many of the people that were involved in making this Christmas a wonderful occasion. We got tremendous support from the staff here in the ashram, and we would like to have or give special thanks to Mr. Reddy and his group of Sevadals, Narendra, Srinivas, and Mrs. Chowdhury with her team of devotees that are working to get us all seated and into the compound. We also would like to thank Saroj and Fabiana and all the volunteers that work so hard in the overseas canteen. Last night they prepared a wonderful Christmas dinner for all of us, and it was certainly appreciated, also their hard work the whole year round. Then imagine what we'd do without Mr. Yuni or Nataraj and some of the other people that are working in the accommodation. Some of us might be sleeping under trees if it wasn't for their hard work. And the maintenance department, security, and all the other people here in the ashram have really been helping us a lot. And also we want to give our thanks to Mr. Chakrabarti, the secretary, who's put up with all our many requests. Swami, these are golden people, and there are many others here that are serving you just like they are, but where else in the world could we find people that work 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and even 12 hours a day, and they're always smiling? And I think we should give a big applause to all of these people. You'll be interested to know that we had 926 devotees in the adult choir yesterday, and they really sounded wonderful under the direction of Sylvia Alden. Also, we have a team of Sevadal members that are led by Dorothy and Raj that have helped during this Christmas celebration, getting everyone seated and also making badges for everyone, and we want to thank them. This morning we saw a beautiful procession by the children, which was organized by Anu and Vim Pillai, who are doing a very good job in helping these children to participate in our Christmas celebrations. Tomorrow afternoon we're going to have a choir, children's choir, that's directed by Alma Baddings, and also we're going to have a drama on the life of Jesus directed by Connie Avila from Mexico. Also, I'd like to mention that on Sunday there will be a special Christmas Mass held at the Chaitanya Yoti at 10:30 a.m. with Father Ogata presiding. How do you like the decorations, Swami, this year? Aren't they beautiful? You know, it's an unusual thing to see such beauty, and it doesn't just happen like this. It's a beautiful story. There's a devotee in the USA, Mr. Nagesh Roy, who happens to be here today, and he's from Atlanta in the USA. And he had a dream with Swami a couple of years ago, and at first he didn't understand what it meant. In the dream, Swami told him to come and decorate his house. And then he told him to write a book about it, too. Finally, Swami told him the title of the book should be Decorate the Decorator. Mr. Roy is a professional decorator, and when Atlanta got an invitation to decorate for Christmas, he finally figured out what the dream meant. And our team from Atlanta, combined with other volunteers under the direction of Tom Leahy, have converted this hall into a spectacle for the gods. And by next year, we hope Mr. Roy's book will be ready for all of us to read. Also, I'd like to mention that from today until the 28th of December, we will enjoy the cooking of an Indonesian group which is working in the Western Canteen. They're also involved in the Seva projects around the ashram and a Valvika sadhana camp. There are 430 devotees from this country. And we also have a large group of visitors from Croatia and the surrounding countries who have also a musical program for Swami. We're all praying that that can be presented also in the coming days. And this morning also we enjoyed Christmas carols that were led by the Atlanta group. They did a real nice job, and it's some beautiful carols. Okay. Swami, we have two wonderful speakers, and I'd like to introduce them now. The first speaker is Yuliana Pulgar. She's an 18-year-old medical student from Costa Rica, and she's studying at the University Iberoamericano. When she was 17 years old, she started a Hatha Yoga Institute. She's known Swami for 12 years and was the youth coordinator of the Sai organization in Costa Rica for 1 year, as well as one of the collaborators in the radio program, which is broadcast on Sai Harmony Radio, as well as in Costa Rica, called Love in Action. And our second speaker this afternoon will be Douglas Saunders from New Zealand. He's retired from the printing business. He's been a member of the Sai organization for 16 years. He's been a center chairman and then later became the country chairman of New Zealand. He's married to Silinda, the author of a very good book, which he will recommend to all of you. It is titled, Life is the Best Teacher. So we'll now listen to our speakers.
I offer my humble and loving pranams at the lotus feet of my Lord Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Beloved Swami, dear brothers and sisters, I'm deeply grateful to our Lord Baba for this miraculous opportunity to be here today in His divine presence. When I was working on this talk, I wrote everything and erased it many times. My mind was talking inside of me, telling me what to write. I didn't know where to start. But when I asked Swami to illuminate my mind, to guide me, he inspired me to share these experiences from the heart. When I was about 6 years old, my mother was able to pay for private English lessons for me. It turned out that my English teacher was a Sai devotee. When I saw that glorious picture with Sai Baba's face, my soul was captivated by his beautiful eyes. From there on, his image stayed in my mind and my heart. I didn't know him or his name, but I felt Swami's divine love so strong in my heart, and I compared this love with the love of Jesus Christ. As I was growing up, my interest in him also grew. I began to learn about his divine teachings, and I felt the guidance of Swami all the time. My soul was being awakened, and my transformation process was started. As I was growing up, since I was a toddler, I felt compassion for all beings, and I could not understand the mistreatment of animals. When I found out that Sathya Sai Baba was vegetarian and was teaching us to follow that discipline, I immediately quit eating meat. All members in my family, as well as my classmates, were against my decision, but I knew it was the right thing to do. My mother didn't understand at first, but then she started supporting me when she saw my strong conviction, and she learned to cook vegetarian meals for me. I could tell that my mother's heart was being transformed. The presence of God is very critical and important in my life, as it has opened the door to loving all and serving all. The practice on human values has deepened my understanding of how to relate with others. My parents passed through difficult times in their lives without looking to God for guidance. This created situations which could have been solved by applying Swami's teachings on human values. When I was 17, Bhagavan inspired me to start a Hatha Yoga Institute. This activity has also provided me with an income to study medicine at the university. For me, teaching Hatha Yoga has been a beautiful experience, and the most gratifying is that in my work, I'm working with both children and adult classes. I am applying Sathya Sai Baba's human values with both, and seeing the changes in their characters is amazing. After class, they stay to listen stories about Swami. The Yoga Institute is being transformed into a Sai Center without deemed as such officially. I would like to share a beautiful Leela that happened at the yoga studio with the prenatal classes. It was a really curious thing because 5 of my students, all of them married, couldn't have children. Most of these women had passed through fertility treatments, but nothing happened. As these 5 women started receiving normal yoga classes, they told me about their problems with fertility. They also said that after all this time, they had lost their faith in miracles. I told them that for God, nothing is impossible. I started to pray to Swami for these ladies. Swami answered with love, because after a few months, all of them were pregnant. Medical explanations for these pregnancies were not available. I knew it was 5 Sai miracles. and all the kids are already born safely and are healthy. And all the mothers have started studying the teachings of Bhagavan. This is a beautiful Leela. This is a beautiful experience to let us know that for God, nothing is impossible. In 2007, Swami gave me the divine opportunity to spend Christmas here in heaven. He also let me join the Christmas choir. This experience made me aware of the necessity to share with others my experiences and good fortune of having been in the divine presence, especially in my own country. When I returned to Costa Rica, I began collaborating with Dr. Jose Cabezas in the creation of a radio program and an electronic magazine named Sathya Sai Amor en Acción, Love in Action. This program is dedicated to sharing the awareness of the presence of our beloved Bhagavan here in earth and to disseminate his teachings. We also include Sai devotees' experiences of his great care and love in their lives. The program is now broadcast weekly by Radio Sai Global Harmony and also in Costa Rica. According to reports, Spanish-speaking Sai devotees in 57 countries are listening to the program. Just before I left for India, I received the shocking news that I have dysplasia. An illness, if not treated in time, can lead to cancer. I'm so grateful, Bhagavan, for letting me aware of this situation, because it has caused me to reflect on life and death. We identify ourselves with this physical body. This includes health, material possessions, or relationships, or everything that has to do with our lives. For me, my identity was tied up in my hair. It was a very beautiful hair, and I felt great pride in it. I chose to have my hair cut while it was healthy and beautiful. This was a complete surrender of not only my hair, but of my heart and my self-pride to my beloved Lord Sai. I knew he will carry me through whatever awaited me in my treatment. There is an organization that makes wigs from healthy and beautiful hair for ladies who are undergoing cancer treatment and who had lost their hair. Now, someone has my beautiful hair, and I'm no longer filled with the false identity that I am my hair. Swami teaches that I am Atma, not hair or body or material possessions. This false identity makes us suffer and have moments of despair, which I have been going through. When we are young, we think that we're going to live with this physical body forever. Also, we think that illness is for all people. But this is not true. Illness, loss of possessions, everything can come at any time in our lives without making distinctions of wealth, race, or age. Having this experience made me aware of just how temporary life is and how we should do everything to make maximum use of our time. Swami, you are helping me lift this veil of Maya and look more and more inside to discover my true self. Swami, I give you my life with full devotion to do whatever is your will. Just before coming here, I had a wonderful dream with Bhagavan, telling me that he was waiting for me. Tears came from my eyes as I was dealing with the illness and with really painful medical treatments. I didn't have enough money to come to India, but Swami provided. With him, everything is possible. In the dream, Swami told me to be in silence and not to go outside the ashram. I think maybe Swami gives this advice to all of us. Something funny happened in the dream. I was really nervous about the color of the sari I have to wear to be in front of the Divine Presence. I asked different devotees with experience in this theme, and they told me to use any color I liked. But within myself, I still had doubts. And in the dream, Swami told me the color of the sari. Bhagavan told me to use the sari with white, pink, and purple colors. And of course, I'm using it right now. He is amazing. He looks after the smallest of details. This same principle can be applied in all our lives. We can trust that He's looking after all the details in any endeavor, so that it will turn out in the best possible way for us, and it's pleasing to our Lord. I'm so grateful, Swami, for always guiding my life and teaching me the path of love and Dharma. Swami, I would like to close with a prayer. Please grant to all of us the clarity of mind and heart to live your message, to love all and serve all by being outstanding practitioners of human values. We offer our lives to you. Swami, we love you. Swami, I love you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all my sisters and brothers gathered here. Om Sri Sai Ram.
Om Sri Sai Ram. I offer my most humble and loving reverence at the divine lotus feet of our dear, sweet, beautiful Lord, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Beloved Swami, respected elders, brothers and sisters, the birth of Jesus Christ over 2,000 years ago was the sunrise of the Holy Bible. Towards this point, the aspirations of the prophets and the poems of the psalmists were directed as the heads of flowers are turned towards the sun at dawn. From this point, a new day began to flow silently over the Middle Eastern world. It was a day of faith and freedom, and it was a day of hope and love. As Jesus grew up and began his mission, he gave man a message. He spoke about love and compassion and the need to help and to serve others. He said, "Whatsoever you do for one of the least important brothers of mine, you do it for me." Since Bhagavan's mission began many years ago, he has been giving us the same message. He has been telling us service to man is service to God. But not only this, he has been going out and showing us how, by his own loving actions, the spiritual radiance from his divine teachings has started a spiritual revolution that will eventually transform the world. And we are indeed blessed to have been born in this age when he is here with us in human form. I was born into a Christian family. My mother was very devout and she loved God very much. She made sure that we children attended Bible class studies every Sunday morning and church services every afternoon. But as I grew older, I drew back from this, as I could not seem to find answers to questions I had, and I became more interested in worldly pursuits and becoming a better job than becoming a better Christian. As you can see by my standing here now, my talk was not very successful. And within 6 months, I myself was off to India to see Swami for the first time. I felt the best thing I could do was to make an effort and go and see for myself what he was like, and then I could make up my own mind and then maybe reconvince my wife not to go back again. Swami, some of us men are indeed blessed to be married to women who lead us to God. We would be truly lost without them. We spent a total of 3 weeks in Prashanti Nilayam, and soon it was time to return to New Zealand. Swami never spoke to me, never looked at me until the day before we were due to leave, and I had been praying to him to give me some sort of recognition signal, to show me that he knew I was there and was meant to be there. But up until this point, my prayers had not been answered, and I began to have serious doubts whether I was meant to be there or this was the right direction for me to be taking. On our second to last darshan, Swami came past the men's line and he suddenly stopped and he turned and he looked over to where I was sitting 6 or 7 rows back and gave me the most beautiful smile. Swami, that one smile from you filled my heart with such an incredible happiness and joy. I could not explain it in the time. In that instant, unbeknown to me, you changed my life. On that trip, I gave up smoking after 25 years of enjoying 30 cigarettes a day. And on our return, I gave up eating meat and became a vegetarian. At no time was I under any influence or pressure from my wife or any Sai devotee back in Auckland. It was solely Bhagavan's love and his grace and my growing love for him that made sure I kept at it and did not give up. I began to read Swami's discourses, and I soon realized that here was the same messages that Jesus had been giving. But what a difference. With Swami's discourses, I found answers to questions I had and given in a much more in-depth perspective. But more importantly, they were written so clearly and beautifully, I found I could understand and absorb them much easier. I regained my interest in the Bible, and I began to reread this with a much more open mind as well. Bhagavan, you helped to open my eyes. Gandhi once said, "He is God who rules the heart and transforms." And even though it took a long time, this is precisely what you, Swami, did to me as I began to accept you as my loving God and my inner resident. As my transformation progressed, Swami allowed me to do work for him, and in 1995, we began to print and produce the graduation certificates used here at the Institute of Higher Learning. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to do this for 10 years, and at the same time we printed and produced various books that were available at the Books and Publications Trust. At a later date, I was given the role of chairperson of an Auckland Sai Centre. Then further down the track, I was offered the role of president of the New Zealand Sathya Sai Organization. I soon realized that Swami allows us to take on these roles solely for serving others and for helping in our own transformation. In 2006, the Sai Organization of New Zealand arranged for a team to travel to one of the poorest islands in the Fiji Island group to undertake a series of free medical clinics over a period of 7 days. I was blessed to be able to be part of this team of medical professionals and volunteers in this, the first of what is now an annual event, and it was truly an amazing experience. The love we received from those people we helped brought tears to the eyes of all of us as we soon realized that the many things we take for granted in our own country would never be available for these people. Some could not even afford the bus fare to go from their village to the small local hospital on this island. At no time did we feel tired or wanted to give up, as we could all feel your grace with us, Swami, your presence. As you guided us, you walked with us, and you gave us the strength and the patience to keep going. After the camps were over, and in a quiet moment I sat, and I thought back 2,000 years ago when Jesus was on earth, and how thousands were blessed as he walked amongst the people, healing the sick and helping the poor. Then it was the Son. Today, millions are blessed as we have here with us in the form, also healing the sick and helping the poor, and much more than that, you, Swami, the Divine Mother and loving Father. Brothers and sisters, my transformation did not happen overnight. It took from the time my wife became a devotee in 1987 until my first visit here to Prashanti Nilayam in 1993 to begin, and it is still going on, and it won't end until I leave this earth. It is called work in progress, but what I do realize is thanks to you, Swami, you have helped me to become a better person and a better Christian. Beloved Swami, I would like to offer my deepest gratitude to you for allowing the many thousands of us from overseas to come here and celebrate Christmas in your divine presence, where the celebrations take on a special meaning for all of us. And, O Lord, I humbly pray I can continue to serve you in whatever role you see fit, that all my actions please you, that you walk beside me as my loving God, my Guru, and my dearest friend. You will always be in my heart, and I love you. Jai Sai Ram.